This is Mrs. Barbara Tatum. Miss Tatum, what was your major and how long did it take you to complete it?
I actually had a double major in college. I was an English journalism major. I didn't have a minor, and I went through college in 3 years.
Why did you pick this profession?
Always wanted to teach. Never wanted to do anything else. Just always wanted to teach. Remember playing school with my dad when I was really small, and always bossy, and no, but always wanted to teach. Didn't always want to teach high school, but eventually really wanted to be an elementary school teacher because I had a great fourth grade teacher and wanted to teach elementary school. But then in high school, fell in love with journalism. Don't teach journalism to elementary school kids, so it was high school.
Did you think about another career choice before teaching?
Just the nursing, and really, I was really small. I was still in elementary school and then gave it up because I just went, oh, no blood, that kind of thing. There was a point when I was in college that I actually thought about dropping out of education and going straight journalism, just arts and sciences. And then part of it was just too close to graduation and, realizing it would take me another year, and I just went, okay, I'm going to stay in education. But, I don't regret that at all.
What is it like being a teacher?
It's overwhelming sometimes. The start of school is overwhelming. Last week, I was out one day because I had a doctor's appointment. I taught 3 days. I was here 11 hours, 2 of those 3 days, and I still worked 6 hours on the weekend. People don't realize, my friends who know me and know I've taught for so long, but people who don't understand about education and about teaching, they go, oh, you're off in the summer. Oh, baby, I earned that summertime off because I'm here most days from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. And then I'm working, usually 6 hours, 6 hours on the weekend.
What were your thoughts about entering a classroom for the first time?
Oh my gosh, I think the first day, I remember vividly the first day that I taught, and I thought I was going to be sick. I mean, like physically sick, like throw up. I was so nervous. And you always still have that night before school starts teacher insomnia where you can't sleep. I don't care how many years you've taught. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. But I just remember being really nervous and, hoping that I'd do a good job.
What has been your most positive experience as a teacher?
Oh my gosh, I've taught so long that there have been so many. I'm friends with kids. Some of my kids because this is my 36th year to teach, so some of the kids that I first taught, I'm still friends with. We're Facebook friends and stuff like that, and so they're in their 40s. I have kids sitting in my class right now that are children of my former students. It's just, those are things that are just, there are so many moments that are rewarding, for sure.
What was a negative experience?
I think the things that you remember that are negative are usually contacts with parents that get really negative and ugly, and you try not to take those personally because it's their kids. They love their kids, and sometimes it's hard for them to see that their children are wrong or their children aren't doing everything that they could. But usually my negative experiences are not associated with kids. My negative experiences are associated with adults, whether they be adults that I work with or adults that I have to deal with, parents and stuff like that. My most negative experiences are never with the kids.
How do you keep your students interested in the subjects you're teaching?
I'm just lucky that it's harder and harder because their attention spans are shorter and shorter. But for me, I don't think I have a problem holding the attention of a room, I struggle sometimes with it in some classes more than others, and I'm not going to tell you that all the time they're entertained, but that's not my job. My job's not to entertain them, and especially in upper level classes, it's academic. We're talking about academia, and so, my job's not to entertain you. My job's not to be YouTube or whatever. Although, I think it's important to have fun. I think it's important to laugh every day with those kids and to talk with them about all kinds of stuff besides English.
What is important about English as a subject and as a language?
I think the most important thing about English anymore is really the writing skills, the communication skills that kids get. I mean, it's nice if they develop a love for literature and that they can see and comprehend. I mean, obviously reading is important, but I think now it's communication skills. They have to be able to go out into the world and communicate both in written form and orally. They have to be able to have critical thinking skills. They have to be able to look at something and make inferences and come to conclusions. And so those are really the most important skills I teach. You know, the reading stuff and everything, it's nice and it's entertaining. And if they develop an appreciation of literature and a love of reading, great. But I want them to be able to go out there and fill out a police report coherently if they need to, if they've been in a car accident, or fill out a job application and not have the employer look at it and go, oh, no way I'm hiring this person just based on the application. I mean, those are some skills that they just have to have.
How do you get kids interested in English?
I think some of them you don't get interested in English. They're just never going to like it, but it's just a matter of fact that they have to take it. But I think if you can explain to them how they're going to use this maybe later in their lives, some kids are never going to get it. Some kids are just going to go, English, and you just have to kind of face that, that it's just something they have to go through. But you know, hopefully, I think you develop an interest in the subject because you develop relationships with kids. You know, if you can develop a relationship with your students, they'll be interested in what you have to say because they care about you as a person. So it all goes back to relationships. You know, they have to trust you, they have to like you somewhat. I mean, they don't have to, not everybody in the room has to like me, but it helps to develop a relationship with them.
Do you feel students are lacking in reading and writing skills when they enter high school?
Yes. Not so much reading. Our kids are good at reading comprehension. Our kids are not good at making connections between different genres of literature. I can read this poem and I understand what the poem means. I can read this short story and I can understand what the short story means. But the author of the short story took the title of the short story from this poem. What's the connection? Can't do it. They can't do it. So yeah, that's bad. And writing skills, man, not good. Not good at all. It's some better than others, but overall mediocre to below average. And that's I'm talking about mostly on level kids. Pre-AP, do better.
How often do you have to review basic grammar skills in the classroom?
Kids don't have basic grammar skills because we don't teach grammar anymore, because No Child Left Behind has not left us time to teach grammar anymore. So kids don't know grammar. I actually started doing grammar, like what you would call bell ringers. I hate that term. With my kids periodically 2 or 3 times a week. I put a thing up the other day and it's a great book. It's called Daily Grams, and it's just bell ringer activities, 5 really simple ones. One of the questions was, what part of speech is honesty? My pre-AP kids didn't know that honesty was a noun. Overwhelmingly in my classes, my kids were telling me that honesty was an adjective or an adverb. And so that's kind of appalling, that kids who are considered advanced placement kids don't know parts of speech. But they don't, because we don't teach them anymore. Because we don't have time to teach them anymore. You know, because everybody's teaching to a test.
Okay. What is your greatest accomplishment?
Surviving 36 years in teaching. I mean, really, seriously, I've had school started, this is the 3rd week of school. I've already had 2 fairly new teachers walk into my room kind of with this shell-shocked look on their face and close the door and say, at separate times, and say, how have you managed to survive this long? Because the average teacher now stays in the profession for 7 years and then they get out. So, you know, if you're thinking about being a teacher, average is 7 years. My son's a teacher. He's in his 4th year of teaching. I look at him and I think, I don't know how you're going to make it to make it a lifetime career. I think that's very rare anymore, you know, that people stay in it. They get out for a myriad of reasons. They realize how lousy the pay is. It's overwhelming. It's a lot of hours, you know, but it's also great. I mean, I tell my kids I have a really, really great job, you know, and I think it takes, not everybody can teach. You know, I know a lot of people think, oh, anybody can teach. Yeah, they can. And knowledge of subject matter, you can be a genius in your subject, but if you can't create relationships with those kids, forget it. You know, I don't care how smart you are, and I don't care how much you know.
Okay. What advice would you give to a new English teacher?
You don't really understand how much grading you're actually going to have to do. I have 174 kids this year. 174. So that's 174 essays, you know? And if you really grade them well, I mean, I graded pre-AP essays this weekend. I have 82 kids in pre-AP. It took me someplace around 4 or 5 hours to grade those essays. One set of papers, you know, for not even all of my kids. So I think that being an English teacher, you're going to be absolutely astounded at the amount of time you're going to spend grading. This is all stuff that I've collected that right now I don't have time, I haven't had time to grade. Okay? Oh wait, here's some more. You know, I haven't had time to grade it yet. Because it's the start of the year, we're doing some new things, so it's new lesson plans and everything like that. Haven't had time to grade it. And I'm here until 6 o'clock every day, you know, and I haven't, because I'm answering emails, I'm filling out paperwork. I don't think when you're in college studying to become a teacher, you understand how much of your time is devoted to actually non-teacher stuff. I mean, as far as instruction, you know, or doing the things you need to do. And it's not just me. I was talking to a girl down the hall the other day and she's going, I have no time to grade anything. I have no time to grade out anything. So it'll even out later as the year goes on, but it's pretty overwhelming. We have some first-year teachers in English this year, and they're pretty overwhelmed. They're like, you know, treading water. And so am I. I mean, I'm just going, whoa, I don't think I can do another thing.
Thank you, Ms. Tatum.
You're welcome. You're welcome.